At the end of every race, there's a single moment that defines everything. Engines are still roaring, drivers are pushing to their limits, and then suddenly, a simple black and white flag waves in the air, and it's over. No countdown, no dramatic sound cue, just a pattern of squares that somehow carries all the meaning of victory and finality. So why are racing flags checkered? It's so familiar that we rarely question it, but if you stop and think about it, it's a strange choice. Why that specific design? Why not something simpler, like a solid color? And how did it become the universal signal for the finish line in the first place? Let's answer that question, right here, on History of Simple Things. At its core, the checkered flag has a very simple job. It signals the end of a race. Whether it's Formula One, NASCAR, or a local karting event, the moment that flag waves, the competition is officially over, and the first driver to cross the line is declared the winner. It's part of a larger system of racing flags, each with its own meaning, but the checkered flag is the one every driver is waiting for. Unlike caution flags or penalty signals, this one represents completion. It's the finish line made visible. Drivers don't just race to a line painted on the track. They race to that moving, unmistakable pattern. Over time, it became more than just a signal. It turned into a symbol of victory, achievement, and the end of a high-speed contest. What's interesting is that no one can point to a single definitive origin of the checkered flag. Its history is a bit scattered, with multiple explanations overlapping. However, most historians agree that it became widely used in the early 1900s, during the rise of organized automobile racing in the United States. Before that, racing events weren't standardized. Different tracks used different signals, and there wasn't a universal system like there is today. The checkered flag didn't appear because someone officially designed it for racing. It emerged gradually, gaining popularity as events became more organized. By the time major races were being held regularly, the flag was already being used to mark the finish, and from there, it spread quickly across the racing world. One of the most widely accepted explanations ties the flag to the people who used to record race results. In early races, officials at the finish line were responsible for checking times and positions. These officials were sometimes called checkers. The theory goes that these checkers needed a way to identify themselves clearly at the finish line, so they used a flag that visually represented their role. The word checkered itself refers to a pattern of squares, but it also connects linguistically to the act of checking or verifying. Over time, this connection stuck. The flag became associated with the finish line, not just the officials. It's a simple idea, but it explains why the pattern isn't random. It's tied directly to the function of confirming results. Another important reason for the checkered design is visibility. Racing is fast, loud, and often chaotic, especially in the early days when tracks were dusty and conditions weren't ideal. A flag needed to stand out instantly, even at high speeds and from a distance. The alternating black and white squares create strong contrast, making the flag easier to see than a single solid color. This contrast works in almost any lighting condition, whether it's bright sunlight or a cloud of dust. It also creates a sense of motion when waved, which helps grab a driver's attention. In a sport where missing a signal could be dangerous, clarity mattered. The checkered pattern wasn't just symbolic, it was practical. Once the checkered flag started appearing in major races, it didn't take long for it to become the standard. Motorsports were growing rapidly in the early 20th century. And with that growth came the need for consistency. Organizers began adopting similar rules, signals, and practices across different events. The checkered flag, already in use and widely recognized, naturally became the universal signal for the finish. Early photographic evidence shows it being used in prominent races, helping cement its place in racing culture. As racing expanded globally, the flag went with it. Today, no matter where you are in the world, the meaning is the same. When that flag waves, the race is done. It's worth asking why no other design replaced it. After all, racing uses many different flags, each with specific colors and meanings. The answer comes down to a mix of tradition and effectiveness. The checkered pattern is unique among racing flags, making it impossible to confuse with others. A solid color could easily be mistaken for another signal, especially in the heat of a race. The black and white design avoids that problem entirely. On top of that, once something becomes deeply associated with a sport, it's hard to change. The checkered flag isn't just functional, it's iconic. It carries history with it, and that history reinforces its continued use. The checkered flag isn't just a random design that stuck around. It's the result of history, practicality, and meaning all coming together. It likely started with early race officials, evolved through necessity, and became standardized as motorsports grew. Its bold pattern makes it easy to see, its name connects to the act of verifying results, and its long history gives it a sense of importance that no other design could easily replace. Today, it represents more than just the end of a race. It marks the culmination of speed, strategy, and endurance, and every time it waves, it carries over a century of racing tradition with it, reminding us that even the simplest symbols often have deeper stories behind them. Thank you for watching. If you have suggestions for our next video, feel free to share them in the comments below. We'll be sure to give you an acknowledgement for your contribution. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the history of simple things. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more stories woven through the smallest details.